Hi everyone, it's KK Diaz from A Game Business, and we are obviously here as one of the partners, one of the media partners with SA Innovation Summit. Very exciting time every time this year in Cape Town. And today I'm with a lovely lady who does some amazing work, which she will tell us a little bit more about as we speak. Her name is Bridget Morris. Bridget, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks. How are you, KK?
Great. I'm very honored to be speaking with you today. I know you're doing some great work.
Yeah.
And the City of Cape Town has obviously been such a valuable partner to the SA Innovation Summit. But before we get to the partnership, please tell the audience a little bit about who you are, your role at the City of Cape Town, and what you do. Yeah.
So obviously my name is Bridget Morris, and I am the Manager Innovation and Customer Insights. Very interesting portfolio. So what we do in terms of innovation is basically just embedding a culture of innovation for the City of Cape Town.
Fantastic.
We work across all departments, and obviously we have a staff complement of about 30,000.
Wow.
We won't be able to reach everybody, but we're making sure that in terms of the bigger numbers, we are able to have a take-up in terms of driving innovative thinking within the city. So I have that exciting function of embedding innovation, but on the other hand, I'm also responsible for the annual customer satisfaction survey for the city.
Wow.
So we look at all the services across all departments.
Josie, I hope you're listening.
Yeah, we work across all departments just to understand their services, but also go back to the customers, whether citizens or business, whom we then ask questions in terms of how they're experiencing our services and where they actually see us improving. So yeah, those are the two portfolios that I'm mainly responsible for.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so envious. I'm from Josie. I live in Soweto. I'm so envious of what the City of Cape Town is doing. What do you think are some of the ingredients of bringing success to what the City of Cape Town is doing from an innovation perspective and truly just pushing the boundaries, just from a culture perspective, or maybe you know the secrets. What is making City of Cape Town so successful?
Yeah, so the City of Cape Town, I think the most exciting thing about what we do is the fact that we pay attention to what our stakeholders and customers say to us. Because the City of Cape Town is also a tourist attraction, we obviously have to raise the bar in terms of how our services are experienced.
Yeah.
We've got people coming from across the world coming to explore the city, look at Table Mountain, go into the ocean. I hope you've had the chance to do that as well.
Every time.
And with that, it actually creates a demand on us to be able to stay ahead of the curve in terms of services that we deliver. Obviously, with that as well, you find that people who come from other countries and have experienced services in different ways want to interact with the city just to say, where can we improve and how do you actually make sure that with the innovations that are happening elsewhere, you already start taking advantage of that.
Wonderful.
So the city actually had an appreciation of this, and I think in 2017, that's when they decided that they wanted to establish an innovation capability where we actually follow through on innovation management principles to basically look at how do we hardwire innovation in the city, but also measure its impact as we go through the improvement interventions that we need to put in place. Key to that was the development of a strategic framework for innovation, where we said we have at least identified 4 areas that we want to actually enhance the manner in which we provide those services, but also look for innovations around those. One of those key areas is obviously operational excellence. What are the trends, benchmarks, best practice saying about what's happening within that space that we can start building into the manner in which we do business that actually allows for us to take advantage of innovation that's happening there. The other area is really around urban innovation. There's so much that's changing within an urban environment. What are the innovations that are taking place and how does the city start thinking about the future and how we start entrenching those in our operations to take leverage of innovations there. The other focus area really is around the socio-economic impact. We've got 2 directorates, one that looks at economic growth and another one that really looks at the community services and health, where there's a lot of innovation that we're probably not really tapping into, but we want to actually spend a lot more time to say, what are those innovations that can have that socio-economic impact, especially given the community that we actually serve as a city. And then the final area, obviously, is digital technology and innovation. And I mean, we've got departments that are also looking at what is the digital innovation strategy for the city. How do we start looking at making sure that that agility is actually entrenched in the manner in which we provide those services, and looking at technologies that actually enable that for us. So we don't see ourselves as a department as being wholly responsible for innovation, but we partner with all of these departments to make sure that they actually tap into the innovations that are actually out there, and then craft their service requests in a manner that actually starts to look at what is, but what will be, and what could be. So yeah, those are some of the things that we're really focusing on from a strategic framework point of view.
Fantastic. I mean, I love the fact that you are approaching this and seemingly, you know, doing your work as if you were a business. I mean, you are literally talking to principles that we share not only with startups but with scaling business, is that don't rest on your laurels. Customers have got expectations. Are you meeting them? Are you exceeding them? How do you sustain them? So I love that very much. The last thing you said is you touched on partnering, right? I love your humility. You guys are doing amazing, and it's a privilege to be able to see people who are doing great things but still have the humility to say, you know, we need to work together. And talking about that partnership and working together, we're privileged enough to, you know, again, to work with the SA Innovation Summit. We also have some entrepreneurs, 40 of them at Khayelitsha, that we're working with through UVU. We had a 6-month engagement with them, you know, helping them with technology and the likes. So very interesting. But I want to learn a little bit more about your partnership with the SA Innovation Summit. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I am one of those people who have always been involved with the SA Innovation Summit. Prior to my joining the City of Cape Town, because I started with the City of Cape Town in 2017. But the Innovation Summit has really been in existence for over 15 years, and I always say that that's how long I've also been involved in the innovation space.
And big up to Audrey, by the way.
Yeah,
Audrey.
certainly. I mean,
and
Audrey,
Buntu, doing some amazing work.
Audrey has been a great partner. So by the time I joined the City of Cape Town, she had already coined partnership with the City of Cape Town.
Okay.
And it was really a matter of how do we then make sure that from a conversation point of view, how do we partner in making sure that the dialogue actually also addresses some of the needs that we have as an organization.
Yeah.
So what the city has done then in terms of our events department is to say, let's take this request that's coming from the SA Innovation Summit to a department, a committee, rather, that we call SPEVCO. And in there we have an agreement in terms of what are we bringing to the table and how do we want to also be profiled. And I think the best thing for an organization like ours is to actually have our logo on the map to say that we are the host city of the Innovation Summit. Probably 9 years in the making as well. So I think that's been really exciting because it has really positioned us globally, not just within the country. And to see the numbers that are coming into the Innovation Summit, interacting with our brand as well as the city 100%. Is really just wonderful. And I think I want to give a big ups to Audrey and team and
So we're privileged enough to be working on some of those numbers because we also help the Innovation Summit from a marketing perspective, you know, ensuring that we see all the data points coming from various countries. It's so phenomenal, so inspiring to see how much attention is on the continent and specifically around the summit and of course the city itself. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Thanks, Bridget. So I know, I kind of heard somewhere that you are working on some interesting platforms.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so one of the key platforms that we have, which is obviously like a technology platform, is an idea management tool. We have obviously had to go out on a procurement process just to be able to get that, and we are on our second iteration of that. The first
Congratulations.
iteration of our idea management platform was in partnership with IdeaScale, and I think you remember IdeaScale from the Obama administration, where we then sourced innovations both internally with our stakeholders as employees, but also externally in terms of open innovation. So we have actually gone out, asked for some ideas along certain challenges or just in terms of how our citizens actually want to collaborate with us in terms of the ideas. And we've been able to launch that with IdeaScale initially, but right now we're also partnering with Fluidity because there's an element as well in terms of public participation, which we are enabling through that collaboration platform. I can give you the details so that you can log on to it.
Would love
there's
to
a
check
QR
it out.
code that I can share with
Thank
you
you,
where you
please
can
do.
then check it out.
Thank you.
So we launched that, the second iteration in February, and we're quite excited that we, together with the Water and Sanitation Department, were able to launch 3 challenges that we wanted to source innovative ideas around. And I think in that one launch, we actually got about more than 100 ideas that came through.
That's phenomenal.
Which we then showcased at the Water and Sanitation Innovation in Indaba, which we partnered with the Western Cape government on. So that is one technology platform that is available to our citizens and our employees 24/7 that they can log on to give us ideas, and we will have those considered. Then other platforms that we have created is what we call the Future Cities Dialogue, which is an exciting one because then we start bringing thought leaders into the city on a certain topic to then speak to us about what trends they're starting to see, both in terms of innovation, but in terms of the skills that we will require in order for us to be able to move towards being a really innovative organization. So that's also an exciting platform that we actually have. And then we've got what we call the Let's Talk, which is like your day-to-day. Here's an idea that has come through. What do you think of it? What insights can you give us? How can we enhance it and lead it to implementation? So that's some of the platforms on the one hand. And then some of the tools that we really focus on in this, from the city's perspective is your design-led thinking tools. Lego Serious Play, we're also bringing in your 6 thinking hats, just to make sure that we create those thinking spaces, but with a specific tool that gives us the necessary outcomes in terms of what we're trying to solve for.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's so inspiring, not only just at a large scale, but even personally. We opened our second office in Cape Town. I'm now considering moving to Cape Town.
Oh, wow.
Because of all of these wonderful things that I keep hearing about, and of course just working with, again, organizations like the SA Innovation Summit and some of the partners. Now, just in wrapping up, what are some of the takeaways that you yourself are kind of taking away with you from your participation this year?
Yeah. So when I came in yesterday, I put up a LinkedIn status that says that I'm getting my annual dose of inspiration.
Love it.
And that's really what the Innovation Summit actually has been for me, to remind me why I hopped on the journey when it started, to remind me why I need to keep at it, but also start getting some new thinking approaches that are really proposed by entrepreneurs, but also some thought leaders that have been speaking to us over the summit period. So those are some of the things that have really been exciting for me, and I feel like now I know how I'm going to move forward in terms of entrenching some of these ideas into my space. But I'm hoping that at the same time there has been some learning as well in terms of what we have done that others have actually drawn from, so that we can then continuously get involved in this ecosystem of innovation for the city, but also for the country in its entirety.
Wonderful. And thank you for sharing the information, educating us. Bridget, I know you are involved in certain initiatives somewhat at a personal level in terms of some of your passion, which is clearly coming through working with other entrepreneurs and small businesses, startups and so on. Can you tell us a little bit about your coaching, your business coaching that you do?
So, I mean, when we talk about business coaching, we normally consider that as something that you interact, for instance, with a startup.
Yes.
And you coach them to the point where they can see results, from a business perspective.
Yeah.
But the City of Cape Town has been amazing in terms of saying we want to actually take some of those and entrench them internally so that we can reach some level or higher level of performance from our employees themselves. Move them from a state of just feeling as though they are doing the day-to-day norm to what is inspiring. And it's exciting for me to have been part of that journey because myself, having been coached, I know how to then come into the space and create impact for the next person. So the quote really around being able to save one starfish at a time is what my coaching experience is really all about. I interact with my colleagues in a safe coaching environment, but I'm able to also start seeing with them how they're moving from a point of lethargy to a point of performance, and actually looking forward to coming to work every day and giving the results that our customers deserve.
Wonderful. Bridget, it was very informative, and I can just tell the passion is just oozing off of you. I love interacting with people such as yourself, truly committed, truly authentic. I really appreciate it. Folks, you heard it for yourself from Bridget Morris, who's the Manager of Innovation and Customer Insights from the City of Cape Town. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you've learned a couple of things that you'll take away. And if you haven't been to the SA Innovation Summit, I hope you've been convinced, and hopefully we'll see you next year in person. Cheers.
Yes.